What's up, guys? Brian here, D3 Topics Gamer, and I have another requested video to share with you guys today. Now, I've been looking just for any random ideas so I could upload content, so I can kind of get things going to start 2023, and this was one of them. So one of my viewers who goes by that name, I'll leave it somewhere right here, asked me to do a PlayStation 5 Library Collections video, and I thought, like, okay. Now, much to my surprise, my collection for so far, I think I've had my PlayStation 5 for like less than 2 years because I was not able to get one at launch. I think I got it like maybe 6 months after it launched. So my collection is not actually very big. And now, actually, when I looked back at how many games I actually bought for last year, I was actually shocked of how little new games I actually got. Like in total, I only got like 5 games, like 5 new games that came out in 2022. And I'm still using GameFly, so if there's any games I'm kind of like hesitant about, I typically rent it first. And if I actually do want to keep it, then I'll keep it. But I think I did that maybe with one game, like not even one game. Like I tested it out and I always send it back. So before I show you guys my little short collection, you do happen to enjoy this video by the end, please make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Keep track of me on all my future ideas. And remember, if you guys have any ideas that you would like me to do for future videos for 2023, make sure you let me know in the comments down below. And I will get them up as soon as I have any amount of free time to start filming anything. So, starting off, where do we start? I will say this. So far, one of the dumbest practices that we've had for this generation is this stupid practice of games putting out collector's editions that don't come with physical discs. And now this has only happened twice, but again, it's just kind of annoying. Now this example isn't even any more clear than with the the biggest games that I bought last year, which was God of War Ragnarok and Horizon Forbidden West. Now it was dumb that I did get both the collection editions. I have, the elephant, and I have the God of War Ragnarok one, and both of them did not come with physical disc. They sold steelbooks, and I love steelbooks. I really love steelbooks. Any chance I get a steelbook, I definitely get one. But they came with digital copies. So what ended up happening both times, I ended up having to get the collector's edition, give the code to my brother, and then actually go to a GameStop and buy a physical copy, and then just put the disc in the steel case. I really hope they stop doing that this year, because that's just the one thing I thought was annoying. But heck, okay, so there's 2 of them. Now, to go into the other games I actually got last year, one of them was actually Resident Evil 8 or Resident Evil Village. I only got this because they added a third-person viewpoint, because I do not like playing Resident Evil games in first person. Overall, I thought it was great. It was easily a top 5 favorite Resident Evil game of all time, so I'm glad that they actually added that, because just my personal opinion, I think that Resident Evil games should be played in third person, or at least you have the choice to pick neither first person or third person. So there was that one. Then there was the Callisto Protocol. Not as awful on PlayStation 5 as some people would say, but not quite as great as I was hoping it would be. I'm not sure if it's good enough to be a franchise, but heck, I'm okay that I didn't pay full price to get this game, so that's why I got it. And then the last new game was actually Ghostwire Tokyo. Very underrated game. I had a lot of fun with it. It was definitely unique and creative and a lot of numbers, and this makes me want to visit Japan even more now that I kind of got to see certain areas of the city. Now, the rest of my library isn't all that impressive either, so I did get Returnal, which was great. I would even say to this date, it's probably the best game that I have that actually uses the DualSense controller better than any game, which I was surprised that even God of War Ragnarok didn't really use it all that well, but this is definitely a lot of fun. Then it was Devil May Cry 5 Special Edition. I actually do have a copy of Devil May Cry 5 on PlayStation 4, but once they announced that they would be releasing a kind of a semi-enhanced version on PlayStation 5 that will allow you to play as Virgil. Virgil is my favorite Devil May Cry character of all time, and he has by far my new favorite theme of any Devil May Cry character. I know I had to pick this up on PlayStation 5, so that's why I have it. Then there was Alan Wake. This was a game that came out on Xbox that I really wanted to play, but because I was a PlayStation purist, I allowed myself to let it go. But once it was able to be released on the PlayStation, I know I had to get a copy. A lot of fun, great game. I like that it was remastered, so the game actually looks way better than the original version. And I like how this came from Remedy, and I've always been a fan of their type of games. And I'm also pumped up when Alan Wake 2 comes out later this year, so that's why I had to get this in my collection. Then there was Ratchet & Clank, which was definitely one of the best games that I played last year. I've always been a Ratchet & Clank fan. The first Ratchet & Clank game was actually the first game I ever played on the PlayStation 2. So this franchise has been around for quite a long time. This was absolutely a definitive PlayStation 5 game. They did not release a version of this on PlayStation 4, so they really wanted to push this game as hard as it could go, and it very much paid off. This was definitely one of the best Ratchet and Clank games that I thought I've ever played. And I think that the introduction of Rivet and her partner kind of opens the door for them to kind of do like a side story or like a side game to have those two go on their own adventures, and that's something that I would absolutely welcome. Then we have Ghost of Tsushima. This is another game that I also got on PlayStation 4, and then once they announced that they were going to release an enhanced version on PlayStation 5 that came with some extra DLC and a new island to explore, I know I had to get a second copy because I do consider Ghost of Tsushima as the last truly great PlayStation 4 game that was released before the PlayStation 5 came out, and I was just as happy playing this on PlayStation 5 too, and I'm sure they're going to do a sequel to this eventually, and I'm sure it's going to be just as good, if not better, than this game was. And the last game I have in my collection, it was just kind of like a random pickup, but it has to go to Alien Fireteam Elite. I would say like the Alien franchise hasn't really had the best record in terms of games, but I think that for like a 3 squad game that you can only play online, I thought it was actually okay. I haven't played this in like a little bit, but this was something I certainly had some fun playing when it first came out, and I wouldn't mind going back and revisiting it again. So that is unfortunately my very small PlayStation 5 collection. Now I will say this: I actually already looked forward to everything that comes out in 2023, and there is at a minimum 9 games I am already guaranteed to buy at release, and I think maybe 2 or 3 that I'm gonna rent first and then choose if I want to keep those or not. So if anything, by the end of 2023, my library collection will have doubled in size. So that was my library. I'd like to know if you have a PlayStation 5. Why don't you tell me every single game that you have in your library? Share your library collection with me and everyone else in the comments down below. And like always, I want to thank you guys for watching. You're awesome, and I'll see you all guys next time.